What it is, all you goddamn hype beasts, it's your boy Sin Supreme, and I'd like to welcome you to my real review of Super Nintendo Land. Opposed to most review videos that you see on the interweb or on YouTubes, you might see someone just unbox the item or just use it once or a couple times and then they leave a review of that item. With these real reviews, what I'm looking to do is actually live with the item, occasion or event, and give an honest review for someone who is looking to get the entire experience. So with that, I'm going to give you my real review of Super Nintendo Land. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Super Nintendo Land is, it originally was built in the Japanese Universal Studios theme park, and there is one that opened up eventually in the Los Angeles Universal Studios theme park. It opened up around February 17th, I believe is the date, and I showed up that following, I think, week, I believe. I've had the benefit because I have a Universal Pass and live relatively close to Universal Studios in Los Angeles. I have gone around 4 or 5 times since it's opened. And for the most part, I've been able to experience every aspect of Super Nintendo Land. Now, if you haven't been to a Universal's theme park before, the best way to describe it is any area that you walk into, it is almost as if you're walking into the complete intellectual property. So they have a Simpsons part of the theme park, and when you walk in, it feels like you're walking into Springfield itself. They have a Harry Potter side of the theme park. When you walk into that space, it is like you're walking into Hogwarts. So with this part of the theme park, as far as the Super Nintendo aspect, I'd say that's one of my favorite parts. When you walk in, you walk through a big green pipe, whatever they're called. You walk through one, it makes the noise as if you're going through one in the game, and you are transported to Super Mario Land, which also is my critique. It is called Super Nintendo World, when really it is more like Super Mario World, because there's no Zelda parts, there's no Metroid parts, there's no Pikmin parts, there's no other aspects of Super Nintendo. It's, for the most part, everything's, when you walk in, is all Mario, but it is extremely cool. As soon as you walk in, you can't really see any other aspect of the park. All you can see is like you're in a level of Super Mario. I will recommend, if you are that big of a kid, if you're not just bringing kids with you and you do want to have the full experience, one of the things you want to grab is a power-up band. The power-up bands allow you to interact with all the blocks and different things that is around Super Nintendo Land. Now, as a mini review of these power bands, the overall build quality is pretty durable, but they don't stick to your wrist very well. It uses that snap band type of technology, and it just doesn't stick to your wrist when you're interacting with different things in the park. They just don't stay on. But the connectivity and usability of these things is crazy. So there's an app that you download on your phone, and there's all these Mario bricks all throughout the entire part of this park, and you can hit them and it actually makes the Mario block noise, and you actually get coins. And there's this whole app, and you can compete against your friends, and it shows you your score against everyone who's been at the park. And honestly, it's crazy because there is someone who, they must be an employee there or something, because they got mad points. So I would highly recommend, if you want the full experience, to get one of these power bands, but they are expensive at $40. That is a lot of money for something that, if you're only going once to use and you don't go all the time, it is a lot of money. I go all the time, so $40 for this and having that ability to play anytime I go is not that bad. This is a Princess one. I got the Yoshi one. They got the Mario one. They got the Luigi one. The size of this part of the park is rather small, and sometimes you might even have to wait just to get into Super Nintendo Land, especially as the summer comes. Kids are on summer break. I imagine during the summer, this part of the park is going to be lit. Now, as far as the things to do in this part of the park, you have the one main ride, which is Mario Kart Browser's Challenge. You put 3D glasses on, which is really cool. You drive around in a cart. Even though it is on a track, you do have some level of mobility, and you shoot shells at different objects, and you actually have a score, and you're competing against the person that you're riding on the cart with. The weight is crazy. In line, you're going through Bowser's Castle. A lot of stuff, a lot of cool designs. Really crazy to see where they went with it. But I would recommend the single rider line if you don't care about who you're riding with, because it saves you some time for sure. So that's the only official ride, but you actually have 4 different mini games you can play that get you tokens that interact with your power band. 3 of them are smaller. If you are successful at beating 3 smaller mini games, then you get a key that allows you to play the 4th mini game. It gives you all these stickers and is super interactive with the app and the band. Extremely smart to get you to buy this band, honestly. At the end of the day, Mario is a game. This part of the park should feel like it's a game. And I think they were successful at that. I've noticed myself pushing little kids out of the way just so I can hit the blocks and get my tokens. As far as any shopping in this part of the park, they do have specific items that you can only find in the store that you can't get in any other part of the park. And there is a limit to how many per customer. I think it's like 2 items per customer. And there is stuff specifically you can find in there that you can't find in the other parts of the park, I believe. And then last but not least, the hardest thing that I think most people don't realize is the Toadstool Cafe. Do need a reservation to get in there and to enjoy the food. The reservations open up, I believe, around 8 a.m. every day. And there is a website that I believe you can go to. If you Google it, I'm sure it'll show up. But I'll also leave it in the description. If you go to this website, every day at 8 a.m., the reservations open and you can get a reservation spot. As far as the Toadstool Cafe, I really like it. I've eaten at almost every part of Universal's park, and this is one of my favorite. Even though they play it like it's a restaurant, it is cafeteria style where you order everything, you get seated, and then they bring all your food out at once, even your desserts, and everything gets brought out by a runner. So you don't actually have a waiter, someone you tip, or who gets you drinks or anything of that nature. I don't hate it, but it would have been cool if it was more of a restaurant style. But I think the turnover, because they knew it was gonna be so busy and they want people to kind of eat and get the hell out. Now, as far as the foods, I'm not gonna go over the entire menu. The only thing I haven't had are the salads and the soups. I have wanted to try both. Honestly, the food servings are pretty big. So originally I went thinking I'd be able to try everything. No, the food portions are actually really big. So my favorite dishes have been the Luigi chicken burger. That thing is amazing. It comes with this pesto sauce, which is fire, and the braised short rib, which is honestly, I think my favorite dish. I've only been able to have it once because it sells out. 3 out of the 4 times that I've been, it's been sold out every time. You gotta get there early to get the braised short rib. It is amazing. Once again, for theme park food, because I know normally most people think theme park food is mid. I'm not gonna argue that, but hey, it's Toadstool Cafe. Especially if you're a Super Nintendo, Super Mario nerd, that's really what it comes down to. You're gonna enjoy this experience. If you're not familiar with Super Mario or you don't give a fuck about any of that, then I would say most of this might not be as amazing or really make you care about any of it. Also, before you go, see if there's any level of reservations you can do or things you can book in advance before you go to try to experience this part of the park. Every other part of the park is already busy enough. This one is new and really cool, but once again, because of the size, it isn't the biggest, it is packed. Be ready to wait in line for pretty much every aspect of this park. Even taking the photo with Mario and Luigi. I was trying to just take a selfie with them because I knew I wasn't gonna wait in the line, and the lady was she wasn't even rocking with it. She was kind of like, can you move, sir? Like, there is no part of this part of the park where they're not trying to make you wait in line for some of it. Just be ready for that. And yeah, if you want to leave with something at the restaurant, which is really cool, most of the dishes come with something that you can take home. Whether it's a little hat that they have on the burgers, Mario Luigi's hat, the soups come with a full-on mushroom bowl that you can leave with. They went in on this part of the park. I'm really happy with how it all felt. I say if they could change anything, which I know they won't, but I would like it to be a little bigger. I know the Japanese park does have one more ride, but it is what it is. If you manage to get in, or if you have the opportunity to go, enjoy, and I hope you got something from this review, some info. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It is your boy, Sin Supreme, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace. It's a me, Mario.